What's up, you guys? I got another video for you today. This time we're talking about a Nintendo fanboy again. Perhaps one you've heard of before if you've watched my videos before, but if you're new, this Nintendo fanboy is known as Harman Smith, and he stops at nothing to suck off Nintendo. Anyways, let's not waste more time. This video of his is about Elden Ring once again. Let's hear what he has to say, so grab a drink and or snack and do whatever it is you do.
The sacred cow has been slain.
Okay, well, we're starting off with this? Seriously? Anyways, Elden Ring isn't some sacred cow, buddy. It was just successful. Extremely successful, which obviously, given you've made videos covering the game constantly, you're jealous of Elden Ring's success compared to your mediocre YouTube channel with complete dogshit videos. But you'd rather sit here and pretend everyone who disagrees with you is wrong because they can't possibly be right, could they?
After Duskbloods was confirmed to be a Nintendo Switch exclusive, it's like somebody just flipped a switch. All of a sudden, people were beginning to notice the things that I had been saying for years.
Like what? If you're gonna say you've said something for years, then back up your claim by saying what it is or proving that you've said so. Which, by the way, yes, I did check ahead if he said anything like that, and he didn't. He's literally making shit up to make himself seem smart or seem like he has some kind of point when he has nothing.
Traditionally, the reason why FromSlop was hyped up the way it was because it was something that the industry thought they could gaslight people into believing was better than Mario, Zelda, and Metroid.
Objection!
Okay, so there's three things to unpack here. For one, this isn't a traditional thing that happens. That's your claim, and that claim is fucking retarded. Do you know what traditional even means, Harman? It means something that is part of a tradition, long established. From Software and Elden Ring have nothing to do with any kind of tradition, not even the industry with what you're claiming, because your claim is just completely fucking brain dead. Do you even listen to yourself when you make these videos, Harman? You'd make a great conspiracy theorist, but only the theorist part, because you can't prove your theory at all, which is why you never try to prove anything in your videos, because you've got nothing but fucking useless words. As for being gaslit, obviously that isn't true. People simply played a game and actually liked it more than Mario, Zelda, and Metroid. If we base this solely on statistics, it's completely true, but oh wait, I forgot. That's not something you would ever do, because real logic and facts mean nothing to you as long as you can continue sucking off Nintendo fuckboy.
The entire purpose of it was to downplay Nintendo.
Hold it!
Ah yes, the entire purpose was to downplay Nintendo? Right. Because From Software totally gave a shit about Nintendo and definitely wasn't making games for the sake of making games, because that's not what a development studio does at all. Listen, I'm aware that publishers and such have a role to play in how video games are made, but their role is ultimately negligible, and despite what Harman says, it is incredibly unlikely that these things are at all connected to each other. There is a technical competition, but there isn't some massive power play From Software is doing by making these games. That's just stupid to think.
The posters on there insist that like Dark Souls is way better than any Zelda game.
Okay, that's their opinion, and I'm in agreement that it is too. I simply enjoyed Dark Souls a lot more than Zelda growing up. I still like Zelda a lot, but I don't think it can compete with the difficulty scaling of Dark Souls, which is to say that The Legend of Zelda is one of the easiest game series I have ever played, especially Tears of the Kingdom, which you seem to prop up as the best game in the Zelda series, despite it actually being the worst. If we take apart Tears of the Kingdom critically, there's nothing that it really accomplishes, yet journalists and critics alike all gave it good scores. I am dead fucking ass. This game is overhyped garbage. But this video isn't a review of Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe I'll do that in another video. Moving on.
Pretty much everyone universally agreed that this game was not as good as Dark Souls. Like, it felt like a rehash, there was nothing new, fresh, or exciting.
Objection!
Okay, well, that's your opinion, Mr. Harman Smith. However, your opinion is not the just truth like you so seem to think it is. The reality is, the game is a masterpiece. Reviews and acclaim heavily back up this fact. If there was nothing new, fresh, or exciting about it, it simply wouldn't have been as successful as it is. It's almost like you're pulling this out of your ass.
Take that!
Now let's address some other parts of your statement. Firstly, is Elden Ring a rehash of Dark Souls? The answer should be obvious. It's not a direct rehash. After all, Dark Souls suffers from a much slower combat pacing, clunkier controls, bad hit detection, and much worse connection issues than Elden Ring has in its current state. Let's not forget that Dark Souls and Elden Ring are massively different because one is a linear experience, and the other is a mix of an open world experience with linear areas. You might be asking yourself, but Moonlit, what do you mean Elden Ring has linear areas? And I'm getting getting to that, so hold on. First, what is considered the open world? And more accurately, the overworld of Elden Ring, and what are the linear areas? Well, the overworld of Elden Ring is anywhere that is outside, mainly, not counting the Halleck tree. There are a bunch of smaller and bigger linear areas in the open world of Elden Ring. The smaller ones are the caves, heroes' graves, and catacombs. The biggest areas are Stormvale Castle, the Academy of Rhea Lucaria, and Lanedale Capital, to name a few. Now, to address what you said about there being no innovation, if an open world to the Souls formula is not innovation, then what is it, you dipshit? Do you actually use that brain inside your skull to think, or just continuously pull shit out of your ass and see where it sticks? Because it seems like the fucking latter to me. And to be clear, that's not the only point I've got you on. Seeing as the combat itself has been changed considerably since Dark Souls 1, Elden Ring's combat closely resembles Dark Souls 3, but it is actually just a little bit faster. And if you actually knew anything about this game, then you'd know for a fact that Ashes of War are a minor innovation. They essentially allow you to put any skill onto any weapon, given if it is the correct weapon for said skill. You could not do this in Dark Souls 3, or the previous Dark Souls for that matter. Quests are also longer and better than Dark Souls 3, and even the graphics of the game have improved significantly. Elden Ring is a beautiful game with its own art style that differs from Dark Souls despite the similarities. But wait, I forgot. Only an attentive player would fucking notice these things. Apparently that means you didn't give a shit enough to pay attention to the game. I wonder what the fuck that says about you.
It's in an open world now, but there's nothing in it. There's nothing to find.
Objection!
This is just complete falsity. The entire point of an open world is to explore it, and if you found nothing after exploring said open world, that says that what you really did was fuck all nothing. Because there is plenty to find and do in Elden Ring's open world. In fact, there is so much that many playthroughs after my first, I kept finding stuff that kept me wanting to come back and explore even more. If you actually cared about playing, the same should have happened to you, especially since you seem to have no problem exploring and playing hours and hours of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. At least you claim you have, yet you provide no proof of playing Elden Ring in this video of yours or other games you've played that might have given you some credibility.
It was very, very apparent to pretty much everyone that, like, Elden Ring was kind of a disappointment.
Elden Ring was a disappointment to everyone. You know, Harman, you are a real piece of work. You want to know why? Because you are a low-life, lying sack of shit. You want proof that your words aren't true? Here's some more of the valiant truth for your pea-sized brain to just maybe, possibly consider.
And the Game Award goes to Elden Ring. Congratulations to From Bandai Namco.
And the Game Award for Best Game Direction goes to Elden Ring.
Oh, what's that? It's too hard to face the truth? Hit the bullseye on that one, didn't I?
Was kind of limited and stale compared to the much more innovative Breath of the Wild.
Objection!
Okay, so we're just gonna fucking act like Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring are at all comparable because it makes sense to compare two games with very widely different mechanics. Here's the thing, Breath of the Wild was more innovative in some instances as it innovated on Zelda with an open world game. The same as Elden Ring did, in fact. The difference is that Breath of the Wild's combat system is a wider variety of different than Elden Ring's. Elden Ring's was simply a more polished and more refined version of the combat systems from Dark Souls 3, and with Ashes of War, it innovated. The way each of these games play is way too widely different to actually compare though. The only thing they have in common is that they are open world. Same for Tears of the Kingdom. This comparison is idiotic.
Elden Ring was just not on the same level as what Nintendo was doing at that time.
I mean, comparing a singular game like Elden Ring to everything Nintendo was doing at the time is a little weird. I think you know that Elden Ring is better than anything your precious Nintendo put out at the time, and that's why you're trying to argue the opposite, projecting your own insecurity for your precious fucking logo. Yes, I think I'm right, because why else compare in this haphazardly manner? It's worthless and stupid to do.
For a very long time, until the Duskbloods was confirmed to be a Nintendo Switch exclusive, the narrative was, don't talk about this. You could not criticize Elden Ring at all.
Objection!
You say this because people didn't accept your criticism. That doesn't mean Elden Ring can't be criticized. You apparently completely lack the ability to have constructive criticism, which is why no one accepted your criticism. There are different critiques that are widely accepted, like how Elden Ring does have more content than it needs. The open world could be smaller. Too many repeat mini-bosses is another. Some bosses are complete bullshit, like Estelle the Natural Born of the Void. Pre-nerf Consort Radahn is extremely difficult. but that's a DLC boss, and the Souls DLC are typically expected to be more difficult. Still, he was nerfed because he was simply broken. It simply follows the logic of what Dark Souls 3 had done before it. The Ring City is no joke, and by far the hardest boss there is, Dark Eater Midir. That's the hardest one. Listen, you're not wrong, there is a base of people in the community who don't accept criticism, but that is a loud minority. Just like how you can't accept criticism of your fucking precious Nintendo. What you are doing is being the pot calling the kettle black, you absolute fucking mongoloid.
There's no depth when it comes to like the dungeon design or the boss variety or the combat mechanics.
Objection!
No depth to dungeons, you say? Then what do you call these? Also, you said there's no depth to the bosses, so what about these? And then you said there's no depth to the combat, despite the dodge rolling being a core part of that, and that the depth to the combat is being able to overcome a challenge that is normally impossible. Don't forget that Ashes of War spells pyromancies and face several types of different weapons too, and then stats that make each of these weapons and abilities varied. Yeah, there's no depth to this at all just because you said so. Obviously sarcasm, because that's complete fucking bullshit, and anyone who's actually played Elden Ring knows this. I know you played Elden Ring, but obviously you're incredibly biased, and that's as you were going into the game. Though some people caught you in your bullshit, like Gar the Rage, for instance, called you out for actually liking Elden Ring, because when you did play, he noticed you seemed like you were hooked, almost like you couldn't admit that you liked the game.
No idea where to go. What the fuck? I'm fighting like the stupid thing instead of the... Yeah, I couldn't even focus on the invader because, like... Yeah, I think I'm done. I'm bored.
So you played 10 hours and then got filtered by a fucking invader. You know you can play the game offline, right? Then you only have NPC invaders. Oh wait, you didn't try any further after being filtered by that invader. You know why I'm saying you were filtered? Because this game clears players like yourself who clearly can't continue despite the odds they're against. If you played for 10 hours, this isn't about the game being boring, bro. If it was, you would have dropped it hours earlier. So now, you guys, the jury of gamers and the court know of this man's falsehoods, his utter lies of deceit. With this, I've made my case. Alright, enough with the theatrics. But yeah, I think it's good to end the video here. I hope you guys understand what I've been saying. Obviously, this isn't crazy or unjustified considering Harman's character. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, share, and subscribe because I'm really trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. It's really helpful if you guys like my videos. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.